Oof.
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you. We have somebody joining us today.
Fantastic. Who do we have?
Look who it is. One Kevin Miller.
Kevin
You can't
Miller.
recognize me.
Kevin Miller doesn't do audio or visual?
Oh, wait, you can't see me?
I can see
there we
you.
are. There we are. I can see you.
I dressed up for you, baby. I got the collar.
Oh, it's looking real good.
Yeah.
Collar and pretty cool artwork in the background too, Kevin.
Yeah, just rocking it. Hey, check out this artwork right here.
Oh,
yeah.
What a beauty.
You, Kevin, you forced the kids to listen to your podcast?
That's right. No, what had happened was Morgan had to take Jude to a birthday party. I was supposed to take her to that, but you were running late. So now I'm hanging out with Ellie, and she does not like being in the other room without me. So
I am so sorry for my lateness.
I know you interrupted my babysitting dad duties as well.
I really got screwed on a cargo e-bike in the middle of Berlin.
I presumed you just forgot about the podcast entirely.
No, I was like far away, making my way back, but the e portion of the bike went dead, so I had to leg it out. Yeah,
good, better for you, anyways.
It was, and I biked off my curry bratwursts.
Good. Do you have some clown pants to go with that hair, by the way?
I should. I do, kind of. They're sailing themed pants.
Oh, those are pretty cool.
Yeah. You know why Chaz is in Germany is he's researching new hairstyles. That's where he got his previous one. Hairstyles or mustache styles, perhaps. That's where he gets all of his inspiration from.
Every bit of it.
So Kevin Miller, for listeners who aren't familiar with his name, is co-founder of the Florida Surf Film Festival. And they have an event next weekend that Chaz and I will sadly not be attending this time. But there's a couple of incredible films that relate directly to everything that we discuss here. So what's going on, Kevin?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on to help promote the festival. It's always a joy to join you guys. And I bring you this festival with a lot of hard work. I spent a lot of time emailing the folks at Patagonia to get this movie over the last year. And unanswered email after unanswered email finally generates enough annoyance to where they answer you. And we have, as a result, the yin and yang of Gerry Lopez on Saturday, June 18th, which I have seen, and it is a very good movie. I really enjoyed it, and not too glossy, but Gerry is the sort of controlling narrator of the film, but they do interview a lot of his contemporaries as well. He's a legend. I mean, we have to pay respects where it's due. There's a little mea culpa in the movie, which is cool. I won't ruin anything for you, but if you are in Florida or anywhere thereabouts, come on out. I might even have a couple rooms for you at Atlantic Center for the Arts on campus where you can spend the night, and both nights. So I kind of breezed past the first one, which is, nothing to breeze past. But on the 17th, we're doing 2 nights. We have Birth of the Endless Summer, which is Dick Metz and his journey for 3 years around the world. And, oh, by the way, he might have stumbled on a little right point break in South Africa, which became the centerpiece for Bruce Brown's Endless Summer. So don't want to give it away too much, but they basically put that right on the poster. He discovered Cape St. Francis. Yeah. So, Dave, the 4-part interview that you did with Dick on Surf Splendor was really hard to get out of the car when I was listening to it. I mean, as much as he talks, it's riveting. I can't turn it off.
Well, I have good news for you. Part 5 is coming next week to help promote your film festival.
Oh, you get out of town. That's amazing.
It is, yeah.
All right. So I'll just tell you too that 92-year-old Dick Metz is flying in on Thursday night from Ketchum, Idaho to attend the festival with director Richard Yelland, who has, spent a lot of passion whatever, just working on this project to make it come to fruition. And he did an excellent job. This movie is fantastic. You do not have to be a surfer to enjoy it. And you also, I don't know, you're going to learn something about traveling the world in the 50s and the 60s. And, how can that be a bad thing? He's engaging. But the one thing I will say we're going to have to watch out for is John Brooks does the Q&A, my partner, at the end. If we hand Dick the mic, it might be 1 a.m. before we get out of there. And, we have Matt Costa coming that night, who's going to play a set of music after his new short film that he did with Rourke. It's called Donde los Terremotos. And we also have a Griffin Colapinto Griffin and Crosby, called DNA, fresh out of the can from the folks at Stab and Jacob Vanderwerk and Kyle Boothman, two excellent filmmakers, collaborated on that. And then some other shorts on Saturday night I failed to mention, but The Color of Winter with Rob Machado and some other beautiful, beautiful visual work from, a little bit from Ishka Folkwell. So that's kind of the rundown for the weekend of Father's Day.
Yeah. It's
a question about it is totally epic. I just had a quick question about the mea culpa from Gerry. Does it involve making Costco boards?
Ooh, that is a good question. And it does not. There is zero mention of doing the obligatory licensing of his name to a $80 pop out from Costco. And you have to imagine that was a cash flow decision. I gotta say, I saw two of them in the back of my condo the other day. My friend had picked them up at Costco and he's like, yeah, I got these from Costco. He has no clue who Gerry Lopez is. And I think that, we're the only ones who are kind of like, what the fuck, man?
Well, we're not the only ones. All of our listeners are have the same opinion, but let's discuss that right now. Let's put an end to the discussion. Gerry's alignment with Patagonia, and Patagonia is obviously out to save the world, is their ethos. And it could be argued that the Costco kind of disposable foam surfboard model does the exact opposite. So what is your guys' opinion on Gerry licensing his name to do that?
Charlie, go for it.
Oh, I mean, I don't know that Gerry ever was forward in branding himself as like savior of the environment, but the going in deep with Patagonia and he didn't lean out, we'll say, of like the Zen master motif. And so it's one of the most kind of record scratch moments in surf in the last few years, I feel, of all of a sudden Gerry's got, if they were somehow sustainable or if they were made from recycled wave storms, how great would that be? If they were wave storms washed up on the beach and churned back into a Lopez board, that's not what they are. And it's all great. Every one of us, each and every one is maximally hypocritical. And if Gerry could have just said, hey, like you, I am a hypocrite, would be nice to hear, I suppose.
So.
Do you want to,
I'll tell you that there is a lot of joy brought to the world through kids surfing on these soft tops as evidence. I have 5 kids and Florida is a great place to learn how to surf. It's really small all the time. And, I've seen all of my kids just enjoy that safety of the soft top. And, I think directly of the joy. And I also think about, the fact that Gerry's name is on it. And I start to care less as I think about the joy. And I start to say, all right, a perfectly cool situation in the world would be, hang on a second. Ellie, can you turn that sound off?
It wasn't that noticeable.
So yeah, that's where I'm at. I've kind of like given up on you guys are really the police of cool out there. And we want your opinions and we want to hear what you think. But the Patagonia tie-in, I don't think they have anything to do with the board. I think that's all
Gerry, of course, right? Not. Yeah, of course. So I got an email that pulled 0 punches from a friend named Sean. And Sean says, one of surfing's problems is its obsession with false idols. Andy Irons was the most exciting surfer who ever lived, but Andy Irons wasn't a cool guy, and he was a massively damaged a-hole. Dora, enough said. but Gerry's Costco boards are absolutely disgusting for the environment and surf culture equally. How Patagonia can look the other way and still honor him as an ambassador is also hypocritical. Cheap, gross cash grab. I think Sean, it went a little harsh, and obviously that was just an email. I don't know if he was exactly hoping I would read it on air, but my thought is kind of what Chaz said. We're all hypocritical, right? And it's not that we're idolizing. I mean, we are idolizing Andy Irons and Gerry Lopez, but it's because they feel like they're our friends. We're in this small community. We admire them. We feel like this is part of our brethren. And so you overlook or you accept your own hypocritical nature, you accept your brethren's hypocritical nature. And if you see that there's an opportunity for your brethren to make a bunch of money doing something, you kind of look the other way with that. It's a lot easier to vilify in somebody who you don't identify with. And so I think that's why Gerry, why he sells so many of those surfboards and why he does get a free pass. And I am hypocritical for even not being offended by him. And I'm not, like I see those boards at Costco and I did cringe a little bit, or like Chaz said, maybe a record scratch of like, what's that? But I didn't take personal offense by it. Like I would with maybe, I don't know, if it was somebody, some other industry or some celebrity doing something.
Yeah. I don't know. I think about the environment too as a whole. And I'm like, we're doing things that are way worse than that. The fraction of trash that's created from a Gerry Lopez pop out in comparison with the other things that we're doing to this world, I think we have bigger fish to fry. When we deal with something like the number of boogie boards that come out of those gift shops that are terrible, and end up in the trash, so it's like, okay, so this is actually comes with fins and a leash, and my kid and my neighbor's kid are going to have the time of their life on 1 to 2 foot glassy little waves out back for 4 to 5 hours in a day. It's like, what are we riding? We're riding, polyurethane filth because it relates to the earth. I mean, I don't know.
But that doesn't break down is the thing.
Yeah.
The wave storm breaks down and ends up in the trash can. Your surfboard, you can ride for years in theory.
Okay. Well, there is some truth. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying though, but it's like a 6 2/3 to be honest at the end of the day. So you've heard enough from me on this topic, but I just definitely think the mea culpa that he put into the film may have actually been worse than the sellout on the surfboard because, well, I pride myself on not snaking people. And that's what his mea culpa was about,
Where can viewers or listeners find the film?
Well, right now it's on tour, I believe, through Patagonia's website. You can find tickets, and we should be listed on that tour as of a couple days ago, but it's going to be in Ventura. We initially had Sam George coming out to discuss the film. He actually wrote it with Stacy Peralta, and due to a family issue, he was not able to actually attend, but I think everything's on the screen with this movie. You don't really need a Q&A after it. So, but it will be sad not to have Sam out there. And then also that tour going through California, if in fact you're around there, you're going to be able to catch him, probably Gerry, probably Stacy at 1 or 2 of the screenings.
And we'll keep listeners informed on when it's available online too, because I'm sure it will be on Patagonia's website or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the Dick Metz film, you were mentioning Dick Metz is 92 and he's flying out to Florida.
Yeah.
From Ketchum, Idaho. Today, he's actually driving from Southern California to Ketchum, Idaho. It's a 15-hour drive. He sleeps in his car. He actually does a lot of the driving at night because there's no traffic. And then he sleeps in his car during the day for a few hours, doesn't stay in a hotel. He's done well in life. He can afford to stay in a hotel, but he roughs it. He still dirt bikes all the time. He camps in the woods when he's dirt biking. The guy is crazy.
Oh, what an epic legend. I mean,
I know, it totally is.
Yeah. You guys were very kind to have me on this grit, Dave. I don't want to overstay my welcome. So, let me know if you're.
Do you have time?
Oh, yeah, I got time.
All right. Stick around. I
have a lot of opinions, by the way. I do have opinions. So.
We'll share them. Now we'll get off of the film festival and the people that you're working with there so that you could share your opinions on these next few subjects. So Chaz, revealed last week that he is going to be needing eyeglasses. And of course, we have listeners who have an opinion on that. So would you like to hear your eyeglass options moving
Yes,
forward?
please.
Okay.
Hello, this is a message for the grit, and specifically for one Chaz Smith. Very interested in the fact that Chaz will now be joining the ranks of prescription eyeglass wearers, which means Chaz has a choice to make. And here are the options. Option number one is the Val. The Val is an eyeglass wearer who doesn't really know what he's doing, and everybody can see it. What that means is that you're going to be getting a pair of reading eyeglasses. Keep them in a little pouch. Keep that pouch in your pocket, and then pull them out when you need them. That's the Val. Option number two is the Kook or Curran. This one's hard to pull off, but it's someone who gets very thin reading glasses, the ones that rest on the tip of your nose, and they come with a maybe bright red cord that you're going to be wearing around your neck all day long. This one's hard to pull off. It's the Kook or Curran. Option number three, the Album Surfboards 20. The eyeglass wearer who decides, hey, I'm going to have to wear glasses. I may as well look good. So you're going to be getting maybe designer eyeglasses like Ray-Ban Wayfarers. Get a progressive prescription and wear them all day long and think, hey, I need to wear glasses. I'm going to look good in them. So these are the options. I don't make the rules. Choose wisely and keep up the work.
I'm sure, Chaz, you already had a plan in place for what you would be doing.
I so do have a plan in place. I got a fashionable pair of reading glasses. They were not available pre-Europe, so I haven't picked them up yet. But I was thinking about wearing them mostly all the time, except Herbie Fletcher has me in a real conundrum. What Herbie Fletcher has is that pair of glasses that is a magnet in the middle that he wears it somehow around his neck, and then he clicks it together, magnetizes it. So I might go that way eventually, but I'm starting with the Album Twin Fin, and then I'm going to go Kook and Curran. Or Curran, I think, as I progress into being more comfortable.
Yeah, I love that Herbie does that, but that's Herbie's. You can't just rip that off.
I can't at all. But
yeah,
and I won't do that. But I feel there's more progressive. I won't do contacts for sure. Eyes aren't bad enough to need contacts. But yeah, I think I'm going Album Twin Fin out of the gate. A stylish pair that I just will wear all the time.
I like that he used that analogy as the Album Twin Fin, because I was thinking he's right. When you have an Album Twin Fin, you just look cooler. Even if you surf poor, the board is so beautiful that it just makes you look cooler, which I don't know that there's a lot of other board brands that do that.
Kevin, I see you in glasses all the time. Do you need glasses all the time, or are you just Album Twin Finning out there with your glasses?
Yeah, I need glasses. I got progressive lenses on, so I could see pretty well far away, no problem. But reading glasses is where I'm at, and so I got the progressives just to clear it all up. And
is progressive the new word for bifocal?
Exactly. Yeah. So they progress the prescription as you go up, or the lens. Like right now, when I tilt my head, I can see you guys perfectly in focus. When I lower my head, you're all blurry. So technically speaking, I have to do that to see you.
See, I love the look of a glasses of a half frame, whatever that one's called, perched on the edge of the nose. With the red cord, exactly. Like that's where I want to end up. I just don't feel comfortable enough going out of the gate that way.
Yeah, you got to build the confidence towards that one.
Yep.
So that listener sounded European. I did get an email from a European listener. He says, Chaz is in Europe, at a super secret location. Well, I am in Europe too. I live in Europe. The question is, Chaz goes there for the culture and for the fashion. Where should I go for surf, for fashion, for party, considering that I already live in Europe? I'm asking this advice from Chaz, someone who doesn't live on our continent nor speak a single native language of ours, but who is in the state of making blunt statements.
He should go to this place called Europe that has waves and has everything you need. I don't know why you would need to leave Europe, to be honest. South Africa, maybe? Go Dick Metz it up?
Yeah, that's true. But I agree with you. Why would you leave Europe if you're in Europe?
If you're in Europe, stay in Europe. Go to the River Wave in Munich. Go to stinking, I don't know, where else do they have? Portugal?
I mean,
Waves
you
all
can, and tons of variety in culture, go spend time in Portugal, France, Greece, Croatia. There's so much distinction between all of them.
enjoy your Europe, dear friend. You don't have to
His
leave. You're living the good life.
his final question was, how many suits does he need in life?
Oh, I brought two. I brought two suits on this trip with a tiny carry-on.
But how many does he need? I mean, you did two because you want to travel lightly. How many does a man need in life?
I mean, like over life or in the closet at one time?
In the closet at one time.
You need at least three is the minimum.
Okay.
You need
Three
three
different
suits.
colors or three different
Three different
styles?
colors.
Okay.
I have a black, a navy blue, and a light blue.
Are they
which I
all
think-
the same cut?
No, they're all different cuts.
Okay.
My Dior navy blue is a Hedi Slimane from when he was at Dior. Like it's probably not in style now, but it'll come back. That pencil thin suit, the painted on suit, and then I have a baggier Saint Laurent, and just got a nice, kind of relaxed but tapered Paul Smith.
I have no idea what any of those words mean.
Every one
Yeah,
of those
well,
you need. Daily.
I mean, I have to say it. Do you have a funeral suit? I mean, everybody has.
The black is a funeral suit. I do need a
Right.
tux.
Yeah.
I was at a proper last summer. Was at a proper black tie and wore a black suit to the black tie and felt like a total fool. Like every man at some point needs a tuxedo in the closet. No rental, like a tuxedo that you own.
Yeah.
Do you have a tux, Kevin?
I do. I have a 20-year-old tux that I used to wear when I was on the board at Orlando Opera Company, and I haven't worn it since. Like, and I think I wore it to like one wedding too, but it was, I don't know. I doubt the thing even fits me anymore because I'm fatter.
Doesn't go out
Every
of
man-
style though, right?
Yeah, it's Hugo Boss. I mean, it's like I love I love the Hugo Boss when I have to go upscale.
You know what other suit Hugo Boss designed?
No,
Man,
no.
really out myself again here. Hugo Boss did the SS uniform.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Was
I don't have
Hugo
a Hugo
Boss
Boss.
German?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's
That
funny.
is
Boss
news to
himself
me, and
did
I
the
may have to
SS.
change my fashion influences at this point.
I was gonna say Chaz has way too much Nazi random information. It's bizarre. Okay. So last week Val called in from Santa Cruz. Chaz, are you still there? Your visual went away. We'll wait till he comes
Hear me?
back. I can hear you,
can you
but
hear me?
oh, I can hear you. Yeah, your visual just went away.
Okay, I see you and hear you.
Okay. Well, remember last week Val from Santa Cruz called in asking for the update from that kid who was going to Bali to propose to his girlfriend? All right, we've got a follow-up from that kid himself.
Chaz, David, this is anonymous caller that was seeking advice on a Bali proposal. Just was listening to the June 3rd episode and heard Val, I believe her name was asking how that was going or how it went. And the short answer is no, haven't gone on the trip yet. Actually supposed to go in 10 days now. Unfortunately, I just got COVID, just got back from Florida, contracted COVID there. So praying to God that this gets sorted out before I have to make the trek over to Bali. But in any event, maybe call it cold feet, call it a stroke of insight, but no, I will not be proposing on the trip for a number of reasons. Main one just being doesn't really feel like the right time. Just for some overall context, my girlfriend's family is a big Catholic family, and when you propose, as she put in her words, to a big Catholic family, you're expecting kids on the way, and we're not at that stage. Anyways, maybe TMI. Anyway, but just want to give a update on it all. Anyways, keep up the work.
Definitely not TMI. I want to know more.
Never TMI.
Never TMI here, and I want to know more. That's a sad, sad update that I did not see coming.
No, I mean, So girlfriend that he was going to propose to in Bali, family wants kids. They don't feel like they're ready for kids. Is that the takeaway there?
That's as much as he said, but there seemed to be reticence in between the sentences, if I'm reading correctly.
What, again, I will give my best advice: marry early, marry often.
We've all got a divorce under our belt or two, right?
I mean, but really though, to be honest, hearing his voice, if you're not, don't drag anything out. If it ain't gonna happen, pull that band-aid off quicker than quick.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hire
Kevin,
slow,
you take
fire
this one.
fast, right? Hire slow, fire fast.
Yep.
Yeah. I
Or
agree.
hire fast, fire slow.
It's when you're young and idealized, you ignore all the red flags, obviously, or the concerns, because love is that powerful essentially when you're that young. But with a little bit of hindsight, you look back at younger people and you see things so crystal clearly. I have a couple younger brothers I feel this way about, where they give you the data and you go, okay, this ends one of two ways. These are the only two options. I happen to have a crystal ball and I have exactly the two ways that this ends. And so you want to shake them and say, hey, dude, just get out now. Don't waste anybody's time. Save yourself 8 years of agony or whatever it is. But you also don't want to crush somebody's youthful spirit, because it's such a precious thing, you know?
But also, you, neither of you, Kevin, I don't know if our listeners know, but you've been oft married. Have you ever regretted your other broken marriages?
No, because you learn from them. I mean, I pushed the chips into the middle of the table all 3 times. And exactly. I was young, romantic, and there was nobody that was going to tell me what to do. That was the one thing you get to learn in this life, is like on your own. You want to protect your children, you want to protect your friends and nieces and nephews and stuff. But there's just one way to learn. And sadly, it's often a car wreck.
But also, that car wreck is part of the look at, like, the great artists of this world. 90% of their lives are car wrecks, right? Like, if it was just this easy flow through no pain and no trouble, then where would the pressure come from to create anything?
Yeah, well, is he planning to create art with this marriage, or is he just gonna, receive a bunch of trauma and not do anything with it?
I mean, that's the problem. The like clear foot dragging from him, at least tonally, is like, I've sort of rethought it. Like,
Yeah.
not to hear the fire in the voice, especially if theoretically he was going to propose in 10 days. And now he's like, COVID,
Yeah.
Not that I'm the best judge, but I will say that as you go through the course of a relationship from first date to about like 2 or 3 weeks in, like, if you don't know by then, that's pretty, in my like terrible history of a series of marriages, at least I know for a fact that there were warning signs early on. So like, if you do 2 or 3 months with somebody and you're like, oh, this is not right, and then you break up with them, and then, like, let's say you get single 8 to 10 years later, and you're like, you sort of idealize that short relationship that you had in the past, and you were like, wow, that was so great. If only I would have actually followed through with so-and-so, life would be good. And then you become single again and you go on a date with them, and 3 weeks into that, you're like, oh, no wonder. I mean, that, for me, that happened at least 2 or 3 times, where I was like hooking up with an ex and just, no wonder this didn't work out.
But you idealized it for all those years in the middle.
Yeah.
Thinking, well, I can speak from personal advice in regard to the having kid thing. Lauren and I had a kid out of wedlock, and it was intentional. And we sat all of our parents down, because our parents are traditional, similar to this guy's family that he's potentially marrying into. We sat our parents down and had a real conversation with them. Like, hey guys, we're adults. We have a biological kind of timeline here. And we don't want to rush the planning of the wedding and all that comes with it. We would like to do a nice version of that. And to be honest, having the kid is really the most important thing to us, knowing that we're planning to stay together forever, but having the kid is the primary important thing. So given our age, what if we need to do IVF? That's going to cost money. We would not want to spend that money on a wedding, then get 2 years down the road and need to do IVF. So just practically and passionately, having the kid is the biggest priority to us now. We will get married in the future, blah, blah, blah. And our parents pushed back on that concept, and they said, we'd rather you got married first. Can we help? Let's find a solution. And we asked what the reason was for wanting us to get married first. And they provided their reasons. Lauren and I weighed those out, thought about it for a while, and decided our reasons were more valid than theirs for our life. And so we were going to make our own decision. So that was because we felt passionate about the way that we were doing it, but we respected our parents enough to have those conversations. So that's another angle for the listener as well. Like her parents and family feel a way strongly, and you have to honor that and engage with it, but you don't have to do what they want you to do, essentially.
Yeah. As a young person, you're way more swayed by your family and their traditions than you are as you get on in age. I mean, especially if you've been through the ceremony of an actual wedding, which nowadays, I think I was telling you the other day in a text, Dave, it's really hard for me to sit through any wedding. Don't feel like when you do get married, you have to invite me, because I'll be in fucking hell the whole time during the ceremony. and I'll be fine about an hour into the reception.
Yeah.
There's this solution to all problems, though. 2 little words called Las Vegas.
There you go, baby. I love it.
Everybody's happy in Las Vegas.
I suppose so. One word is Bali, and I felt like that was even a better option than Vegas. But well, let's get on to some surf news. I do have another follow-up call, but we'll hold that. In surf news, John Florence is pulled out of El Salvador with his 4th knee injury in as many years, I believe. For a kid who is projected to win multiple world titles, he's only on 2 thus far, probably because of these injuries. What are your guys' thoughts on John pulling out, and will we ever see him return again to form?
Kevin, I'm going to give you the lead on this one. I got some strong opinions here.
Yeah, I feel like he has tested the limits of his competitive body, and like he's going to listen to me, but if I were an agent, the guy's going to be fine. He just needs to be a brand ambassador to his own brand and go do some projects on this. He's the best surfer in the world. The eyes will always be on him no matter what. And it's a much less stressful life. I would do that if I were him as well. He's probably got enough money in the bank to live a nice life and be rewarded by his efforts too, and be satisfied by running a business. I don't know. I would
abandon the world title dreams at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I can't imagine it's, unless you're a hyper competitive person like Kelly. I don't think you would need that sort of gratification to be happy in life, and that's the goal, is to be happy. I would for sure just say, look, this has tested my limits. It's like Troy Aikman and too many concussions, or so those are my 2 cents.
What say you, Chaz?
I mean, I think it's totally sad both for John, I think, but less for him. Kevin's right, he'll be fine no matter what. I think it's more sad for the professional surf fan not to have John in the draw. Like, he's a fun surfer to watch. He surfs obviously incredibly. He's exciting. His name brings a lot of excitement to any draw, right? So it's a bummer for that. But mostly, I think Kelly Slater really destroyed professional surfing in terms of those 11 world titles will never be touched, right? And so you got a Gamadina who wins 2, 3, whatever, wants to take the year off because whatever. There's no incentive for anybody to go. Nobody's going to beat that, right? There's this, and John has no incentive either. It's not like John, if the world title record was at 5 or 7 or something like that, right? Then you could get up to 3, 4 and think, maybe I got a shot. Maybe I have a chance here. There's no chance for anybody, which I think will continue to sort of dampen a bit anybody ever really winning more than 2 or 3. Just because you win 1, you win 2, great.
Yeah, I think it becomes a race for second at this point. And so that race between he and Gabriel was a potential storyline. But yeah, now it isn't. And I agree. The other thing I question here is if the WSL was raising the stakes, I think it would incentivize John to actually engage more. But as Kevin pointed out, John has a bunch of other career path options that are actually probably more enticing than competing on the world tour. And so the way that the WSL would raise the stakes is put the best surfers in the world in the best waves. So if John knew that next year he would be competing against Gabriel Medina, Kelly Slater, Jack Robinson, Idolo at 8-foot Cloud Break, at 8-foot Chopu, at Pipeline, at J Bay, he would absolutely work his hardest to be in that conversation and just to be able to surf those waves with those people and prove himself. But if he's looking at the schedule and they're going to be running in beach breaks for half the season and potentially a wave pool, it's an easy decision for him to get out of that. The amount of work and toll it takes on your body to prep for that season is not worth it.
It seems like and Kevin could speak to this even better than I could. It seems like the climate is so ripe for an LIV kind of tour in surfing, where for those who don't even remotely follow golf, which I only vaguely follow it, Saudi-backed coalition went and is plucking basically some of the best golfers around into a new high stakes, sort of different format golf tour, completely changing it, right? Like all those guys got suspended from the PGA, Professional Golfers Association or Golf Association or whatever it is for the rest of the year, et cetera, et cetera. But it seems like some moneyed interest, if they want, there's no money in surfing, I guess, but could come and pluck the top 10, take them on boat trips and just do a high intensity where I think that John would do something like that, right?
Absolutely.
Where best waves one day against the best surfers on earth and just something new. It seems like at this point, WSL is sort of PGA and it needs like some version of the LIV that gets the competitors excited in. Kevin?
Well, I would say the likelihood of that happening is low, because it seems like the World Surf League has such a dominating role on the course of the competitive surf tour. And they're also the only ones, Dirk's the only one that's willing to foot the bill at this point. It's not a cheap thing to do. Are you speaking my language? Yeah, I would love to see that.
But a rich man who just wants a little play toy, who already has a yacht and can invite them all out. Like I feel that John would say, yeah, screw it, I'm off tour. And even if he got, rejected, say, and then Gabe seems like he's pretty disinterested. I mean, sitting out the first half of the year, it does not bode well for his continued interest. You probably go get Idolo, just pluck a couple of them and say, hey, let's, like, this model is over and boring. Let's try something flashy and new. 10 best surfers in the world. That's all we need. 10 best surfers in the world on the 5 best waves in the world during the best window. That's it.
I disagree with Kevin. I think there's more money available for this now than there's ever been before, because it used to be that you would have to rely on a corporation for something like this, or, a sport organization to come up with the money. Now you could just rely on individuals. I could see Adam Newman putting together something like this. We've talked about Zuckerberg in the past could do something like this. That would probably be for business interests. Jack Dorsey is into surfing. He could throw money at something like this. And then from a brand standpoint, Red Bull, this is a perfect fit for Red Bull. It's exactly what they do elsewhere. And by the way, the other detail with the golf example is that Saudi organization is paying them more than the PGA was paying them. So they're guaranteed $5 million or whatever the number is to go compete. So it's juicy.
I mean, but imagine too, I don't even think you need to pay necessarily John, Gabe, these guys more. Just go guarantee them a best boat trip of your life for best surf in your life at Cloudbreak, at, Chopu, at Pipe. I mean, depending on where you get a little window, I suppose. But like, I mean, there's so many places in the world you wouldn't even have to permit to go do it.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just say there's a a track record for professional surfing because it is a survival of the fittest in a way. And there is a hunger that you've seen in younger surfers to want to succeed and get their name out there by winning competitions that I've always been attracted to. The nature of the heat format, the nature of the season long point system. I like all of that, but I also like the idea of putting these surfers in a unbelievable location and having compete. So I think side by side, at the end of the day, you're talking about something that could exist. And it's just going to take somebody to pony up the cash and see a return on investment for that cash. Or like we see Dirk, basically a passion play for the last 8 to 10 years.
Or write off for his
Yeah.
billion-dollar businesses too.
As a golf fan, Kevin, are you excited for the LIV, or does it seem like a messy thing that's unnecessary?
No, I like it because it's got drama and it's got legs to, make the sport more interesting. I mean, I personally don't follow golf that closely. If I'm sitting in front of the TV on a Sunday and I have the cocktail in hand and, I get a moment of peace, it's kind of fun to check in on that sport. But yeah, I mean, to answer your question, I like the idea of some drama and some competitiveness. I mean, that's how could you not?
Yeah. And I honestly, we talk about there's no such thing as bad publicity all the time. And I think that's true for the PGA in this conversation too. This side tour actually brings more people's attention to golf. And I think the PGA will benefit from it. Exactly.
We're talking about golf right now on a surf podcast.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's do one true grit or clickbait crap for Chaz. Chaz has been trying to maintain his writing schedule while he's been in Europe. And one of the articles that came across the transom from him was, quote, "In ultra embarrassing slap, Australia's surf forecaster Swellnet ordered to remove creepy voyeuristic camera pointing at Victorian reef break, exclamation point, unquote." What is this?
So true. Swellnet, Australia's answer to Surfline, did put some cameras up in Victoria. And I even got DM'd about them of like, hey, this is wrong. This is not chill. Do something about it. So I did what I can do. I go public on Beach Grit, and lo and behold, it drew. So it's not clickbait. It is true grit. Drew Stu Nettle, Swellnet's editor, into the fold, where it happens so rarely anymore. Like the days nobody comes and plays with me. I am alone in the sandbox all the time, just throwing sand into my own eyes. The second he came in, gave me so much joy. And so he tried to backsass a little bit with the something about Derek Riley going to him and wanting to get Beach Grit in bed with Swellnet at some point, which made me so happy because then I got to do a whole nother story about revenge porn.
Also, which is a stretch of a metaphor or analogy.
Yeah.
I only clicked on the article to see the image that you had promoted in the headline. And then the image was not even you guys in a bathtub. It was other people with your names written over them.
Made me so happy. But then, yeah. So for those who are fans of Beach Grit, Long Tom, our great contest writer, went over to Swellnet, I think at the start of this year. So they offered him something that I guess he wanted to do. So went over to Swellnet. Love Long Tom. Good on him. So not that I had beef with Swellnet, but like there's already some fun there for me. And so when this started, and then when Stu Nettle weighed in, but so then I emailed Long Tom after that second story and I said, please have Stu come back. Like, give me something to do. And never heard back from either Long Tom nor did Stu come back and comment. I think that, like, yeah, nobody wants to play with me.
It's easier to ignore.
I mean, this everybody just, but I'm going to stand up and say, I'm the undisputed champion of shit fights. And doesn't somebody want to come and dethrone me? Doesn't somebody want to come knock me in the mouth?
No, because they are on a steady pace earning a paycheck. And if they deviate from that, it jeopardizes the paycheck. And so they could
Nobody-
just stay on track.
Nobody has pride. Nobody has any pride, you're saying. Stu
No.
Nettle does. When I call Stu Nettle out, Stu Nettle doesn't have any amount of, I'm going to take this guy down a peg. I'm going to.
No, because
he thinks he's so witty. He thinks he
No.
is so funny. I'm going to show that he's not that funny. And I'm telling you, I know myself. There are major chinks in my armor. I know exactly how somebody could come at me where I would have to shamefacedly get KO'd, just like Muhammad Ali once did.
The problem is if they engage, it amplifies your voice. And so they're all collectively going, don't engage. And then they can just keep doing their talking over in the corner over there to their own audience.
But my voice is bigger than theirs. Like, so it amplifies their voice.
Well,
That's the real.
that's a decision they're
real,
willing. That's an equation they're willing to play.
All I'm saying is I'm asking somebody out there, somebody have
Yeah.
some pride and step into the ring and knock me out. I dare you. You can't. I've
So let
danced
me
like
ask
a
you.
butterfly, sting like a bee.
So back to the article itself or the headline, is the cameras being in those locations, what's creepy about them?
It's creepy that they're looking at virginal waves. They're
Gotcha.
peeping
Gotcha.
on these waves that haven't been
Okay.
peeped on before. I mean,
Gotcha.
when you really think about it, the whole surf cam model is not far from a peeping Tom model, which is essentially creepy.
Yeah. We've talked about the problem with surf cams in general or in the past. So this story, when I read the headline, I wasn't sure if it was like cameras were directed at people's windows who lived on the beach or something like that. But
Probably.
the story is just that, these are waves that have been relatively secret in the past.
And or maybe a man wants to go down there and just sun his buns, right?
Gotcha.
Going to be caught on the camera.
Gotcha. All right. Barrel or Nah, Kevin Miller, bathrobes.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna say nah. I can't really
Whoa.
deal. I got two of them sitting in the closet that I never ever break out. Partially, this has a lot to do with the climate where I live. If I lived in Utah or Jackson Hole, and I want to make a statement with friends at a jacuzzi and smoke a cigar, I don't know. I feel like it's growing a mustache for me. It's like a kind of a forced thing. And with Charlie, it seems like a very natural thing to see him in a bad bathrobe. I would be guessing that he's Barrel on this.
Of course I'm Barrel. The problem with you is when you think of bathrobe, you're thinking terry cloth. There's this other thing called silk. And you can
Ooh.
wear a silk bathrobe all through your house. You could be in a silk bathrobe right now, Kevin Miller, just sitting there, silk bathrobe, not being inappropriate for the daughter. She can be in the room with you. You're covered up appropriately, but it's totally the way to move through your house. I am full Barrel, silk bathrobe.
Can we get
I'm
a
with-
visual on that on Instagram at some point? I don't think I really want to see it, but I kind of want to see it.
I don't
Anyway,
have one yet, but I'll get one here in Berlin. I'm sure there's
okay.
great
You
silk
don't even
bathrobes.
have one.
Well, I was going to say you're in hotels. Hotels have bathrobes. It's a perfect environment.
It's true. Not at this hipster hotel I'm at right now.
I'm with Kevin Miller. This is situational, and I aspire to be a bathrobe guy, but I can't figure out a way to incorporate it into my actual day. I wake up in the morning and I'm moving quick and the bathrobe doesn't feel right. And then I would like to lounge in it in the evening, but for whatever reason, maybe it's a temperature thing. I never find a way to put it on. So maybe silk is the answer. Maybe a
Silk is
different
the
time
answer.
of life, phase in life is the answer. I'm
Satin.
not sure yet, but I want to be.
Yeah, satin.
Okay. Barrel or Nah. This is something, a dirty little secret, I believe, for all of humans that nobody wants to admit to. But Barrel or Nah, peeing in a pool.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna say big nah.
Are we even going there? That's a nah, right? I mean, an end of story.
Nah.
Big nah.
Yeah.
Big Nah. Wow. So I'm the odd man out. So you guys, if you were in a pool, you're going to get out and go somewhere else to pee.
Always.
Soaking wet. Dry
Absolutely.
off. Get out.
Always. Always.
Wow.
Absolutely.
It's the only
Okay.
thing to do. My daughter,
Well-
young 9-year-old, is a big pool peer and gleefully. And like it's one thing that if I was ever going to take her to protective services to turn her over to the fire station, it would be because of that.
Wow. I think you guys are both lying.
I
Okay,
haven't
so
peed in a
here's-
pool in years.
Okay.
Kelly's
There's a
pool.
deterrent here. Like, I know this isn't true. It has never probably been happened where, but even if I did have the urge to pee in a pool, I'm always sort of worried that there'd be like, you ever seen the movie Grown Ups where when like they pee in the pool and the water turns
blue?
purple?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
like,
a
not that it
dye.
would turn blue, but like there'd be like this rich yellow cloud coming out of my board shorts or something, and I would be like, somebody would see me. I mean, that's not the reason I don't do it, but I'm just saying.
The thing
Well,
is,
if
if you're in a pool and an adult, I get a kid not wanting to stop having fun in the pool, whatever, right? For them. If you're an adult in a pool means there's either a bathroom or something super nearby, or bushes or anything. Pools don't exist.
Right.
Like, you're not swimming in a pool in the middle of a mall where the nearest bathroom is, you got to run down the mall with your dripping wet bathing suit and turn a bunch of corners, right? Pool means bathroom is close.
Yeah, none of that matters to me. I think if there was the dye situation that Kevin's talking about, every single person would have dye coming out of their shorts because
Not me.
everybody's peeing in a pool. Yeah, right. I don't believe you. Actually, the weird thing is, Chaz, you don't pee ever. We record 2-hour podcasts. You've been driving 45 minutes to get there. You don't pee when you arrive and you don't pee when you leave. And I'm taking 3 pee breaks at the same time.
Yeah. I've practiced this for years of my life, to be honest, is to basically be a camel.
Yeah.
To not drink.
I think you guys are being way too considerate of your fellow man. And the other thing is that the pee isn't going to contaminate anybody. Pee is sterile. The pool is chlorinated heavily. It's not going to, there's no negative side effects from peeing in the pool, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
So,
I could
get
see
out
a
and
Vegas,
pee.
a drunken Vegas weekend, speaking of Vegas, where you're in like one of those MGM rivers that go around the complex, and
yeah,
you're having 3 beers an hour or something like that, where I could see somebody sort of
Kevin,
letting their code of conduct pass at that point instead of walking the 150 to 200 yards to a bathroom there. But I don't know, man, that's kind of a black and white one for me.
Yep.
okay.
No peeing
I'm
in pools.
surprised. All right. Final barrel or nah, wearing a belt buckle.
No
Mhm.
barrel.
Yeah, I have never seen that. Like, I can imagine there's a person that makes sense for, but
People
I mean,
get
I really
belt
do.
buckles
I do want to
as
see the belt buckle in a movie, like, I don't know, Urban Cowboy, John Travolta playing. You can see like where it makes sense, right?
Guess who
These
won
are
a belt
things that
buckle
people
for
get.
his professional surfing?
Who?
Rick Kane.
Nice.
That's right.
Good
That's
job.
right. Great call. Devin Howard would be proud of you. I was
Yep.
going to say they give belt buckles as gifts, for like a work anniversary or when you win something. This is a thing. I'm wondering if it's a throwback or if it's regionally specific.
Have you ever gotten I got a belt buckle once as a gift from Target.
Target gave you a belt buckle?
As a gift, yeah.
Because you were an employee?
No, remember when Target was big into the action sports game when they
Yeah.
sponsored Calohans? Do they still? I don't think they do anymore. But
I don't think so.
back then they also were in the snowboarding and whatnot, and so they had a house. It was epic in Aspen for X Games. And since I'm well married, got to stay in the Target house, which was totally sweet. And everybody who stayed in the house got like an engraved gift belt buckle that I still have in my sock drawer.
Maybe you should wear it.
I will. I'm going to wear it as soon as I come back to America, which may be never.
Because I kind of like the concept of having something. It's like a personalized cufflinks or something like that, where you have this thing that's a part of your identity. Maybe it was a gift and it signifies an anniversary or whatever it is that becomes your signature piece that you incorporate into your outfit. I like the concept. I just haven't ever applied it.
The problem is with a belt buckle, it falls in, if you're in the rodeo if you ride horses regularly, etc., obviously you are do as you do. It's also like the person who doesn't do those things though and wears a bolo tie has opted for the bolo tie over the traditional tie, where, oh man, that thing, it's impossible to pull off, I say, if you don't. I mean, I love Travis Rice, big Travis Rice fan. Travis Rice went through a big bolo tie phase where I was like, I get it, you're from Wyoming, like you of all people should, but you also don't ride a horse, bro, and so you can't wear a bolo tie.
I think the belt buckle got co-opted by the Western culture, and now it's known as that, but I don't know if it originated there.
It had to have.
It's like if I wore a belt buckle, it'd be the same as me having a neck tattoo. I'm a CPA, man. Come on.
You can pull it, Kevin, but see, that's the thing. You're putting your little toe in the water. If you put on a silk bathrobe right now, got a neck tatter, if you did everything we talked about today, you could pull them all off.
Thank you. So I appreciate the vote of confidence.
Julian Schnabel wears pajamas like out in public and everywhere. I want to see Kevin Miller show up to the Florida Surf Film Festival next weekend in a silk robe. Yeah. Yep. Not PJs, but the silk robe.
Kevin, you could find one. I'm telling you, you could find one and you could wear your normal clothes under it. The only thing you have to do is psych yourself up and not be self-conscious when you step out in public.
Confidence.
That's what reeks, is self-consciousness.
All right. Again, a silk robe, I'd be sweating bullets over here in Florida, and anything longer than a short sleeve at this point. It's hot.
You go no shirt underneath that thing.
That's true.
Leave it open. Let the chest breathe.
I'm going to let my Sean Connery chest hair breathe.
Yep.
Well, so how do people buy tickets for next weekend, Kevin?
Good question. It's very simple. It's a Google search away, and our site has a link to tickets on the very landing page that you will see. And we use Eventbrite. It's pretty simple. Now, it sounds like a little expensive, but $25 gets you not only a pass for the night, but a live show with Matt Costa on Friday, a free giveaway when you walk in the door, and a raffle ticket to win a Yeti cooler, a Cronin shaped surfboard, and many other gifts from our sponsors like Rourke. And, so the idea is that we sort of package and bundle a great experience into one night's price. And if you want 2 nights, it's only $35 for both nights. And then we do a fancy package where you can pay $125 and get royal treatment and reserved seats and stuff like that.
Well, Chaz and I have been there a number of times, and it's a no-brainer. It is a cheap price for admission, actually. And it's a phenomenal event you guys put together. Obviously, there's food, there's drinks. Kelly Slater showed up last time. CJ Hobgood comes. All the local community comes. And the films are really, even without all of that, just the films themselves are worth attending for. So I highly recommend it to anybody who's within driving distance.
Absolute no-brainer. It's worth, I'd say it's worth a 7-hour drive. If you live within 7 hours, it's worth it.
I would do it for sure.
We got a place for you to crash if you act fast. I might have a couple rooms available for you for either night. And so, that's on property, Atlantic Center for the Arts. You don't have to drive anywhere. So it's cheap. I think it's like $80 for a night, or, for a room, and come on down.
And one of the biggest selling points that we've undersold is that Dick Metz will be in attendance. 92-year-old Dick Metz, more spry than any of us. Spending more time with the ladies, I will also reveal, than most young people are. He's still out there working it. So
I love it.
Watch out the women of New Smyrna Beach.
You should, in lieu, Kevin, of interviewing Gerry Lopez, you should interview one of Gerry Lopez's pop-outs. You could have it on stage, ask it some questions.
Oh, Gerry is not good in front of a crowd, man. I want to say, like, he is kind of like a pop-out. He's so meditative and zen. It's like the last couple interviews I've heard with him have been, I don't know, less than exuberant. But it's still the man.
He can host a yoga class for you guys.
Yeah,
I would love it. I would love for Gerry Lopez to be the one who knocks me out.
That's right.
All right, boys. Wonderful show today. Chaz, will you be back from Europe next week?
Heck no.
Okay. Well, you know what we haven't said yet? We're giving away an album free wing on
Today?
July 1st. July
Okay.
1st. So we need to keep promoting that through the month. And the way that you can get involved in that giveaway is to support our work on surfsplendorpodcast.com, which Florida Surf Film Festival does. And so you're entered to win it, Kevin. And if you get your support set up, it is the foundation of our work, helps archive all these episodes, all the hard costs that come with running this machine. That is what that $5 goes to. And so it's an investment in the future of the show as well. And then we give away surfboards as a thank you. So the album Free Wing, Jack Freestone's model, we're going to give away on July 1st.
Subscribe. Could not be a better thing to win.
Okay.
You guys are a sure thing on the dial whenever I get in the car. I really appreciate all the entertainment over the years. Thank you.
You're welcome. And thanks, listeners, for calling in. And yeah, so Chaz, I'll see you next week on Zoom. Kevin, I'll see you. I don't know when, but thanks for joining.
You got it. Thanks, guys.
All right. Hannah will sign us off today. Until next week.
Bon voyage.